Good evening, everyone. I am Miss Haugen. Welcome to 3rd grade. I am so happy all of you were able to make it to Parents' Night tonight. I have a lot of information to share with you, including technology I will be incorporating in the math classroom, the primary topics your children will be mastering, my overall approach to teaching, including daily work and assessments, all of which will be covered shortly. But first, I wanted to share a little bit about me. This is my first year teaching. I'm originally from Rapid City, South Dakota, and I am so thankful to share my dream of teaching and learning with your students. I believe that we're going to have an amazing, fun, and energetic year together, and I am so thankful for all of you to be part of this journey with me. To start off this welcome night, I wanted to share with you our classroom website. It is made with an app called Seesaw. This app for me allows a balance between home and school. It really is a seesaw that allows all of us to be level. This app contains many different attributes, including students being able to independently document their learning at school by uploading pictures, homework assignments, and videos. It also allows me to post videos, pictures, and recordings to the site about what we've been working on as a class for that specific week. I'm choosing to utilize this app for two main reasons. The first is to encourage reflection. When students add to their Seesaw journal, content is uploaded, organized, and immediately accessible by the student and to other students. It helps capture the learning process instead of just the end result. I, as the teacher, can control who sees all of the things that are going on to the website, so all of the submissions have to be first approved by me, so that helps me with grading and understanding that all of the things that are on the website are only for our classroom and school basis. The second reason is it strengthens connections between home and school. Seesaw allows me to virtually include you all in your children's learning. If you choose to download the Seesaw Parent, you will be able to view your child's learning and the activity of the class. I think this provides a new and engaging way for you to be part of our classroom and your child's learning. I plan to use Seesaw in the math classroom to post math videos about what new strategies we are using. I hope that these videos will be helpful for you at home when you are working with your students on their homework. I will also be asking students throughout the year to create math videos of their own and engage in what we will call math talk. Now, if we are feeling a little uneasy about Seesaw right now, I understand completely. We will actually be having a Seesaw night before school starts, so that any of you that want to learn more about the Seesaw app and want to get started right away to engage in this classroom dynamic, we're going to have a Seesaw night on Thursday night at 7 o'clock. If you can't make it to that, I'll provide written feedback for you guys to get started at home at your earliest convenience. The primary skills to master in 3rd grade come from the Common Core state standards. We will master the first of which is multiplication and division of 2-digit numbers. So by this I mean 14 divided by 7 is 2, and 4 times 6 is 24. All of those products will not exceed 100. The next standard that we will master is developing an understanding of fractions. In 3rd grade, our main focus is to introduce fractions, so we will mainly be working with fractions that have a numerator of 1. This could be 1/2, 1/6, 1/8, and understanding the relationship between those fractions. I will utilize this as a make it, write it, and draw it, which helps students really understand what they are learning with fractions. I'll also use a lot of different manipulatives for this section, a few of which I will talk about in a few minutes of how we will use fraction manipulatives in the classroom. We will also master a standard that works with arrays and area. An array is just a fancy term for a grid that provides rows and columns. Arrays are oftentimes found throughout our day-to-day life, so students will be working to establish their understanding of arrays by finding arrays in their life. So talking about how many rows of students there are in this specific arena, or how many columns they find in a specific set. The last mastery standard we'll be working with is classifying two-dimensional shapes. We will classify them by their properties like angles and sides. So a triangle has 3 sides and 3 angles, and a rectangle has 4 angles and 4 sides. We will master these skills with an approach called Math Talk. This is a strategy that allows students an opportunity for deeper understanding through communication. Students articulate and defend their answers and analyze the reasoning of others. As you can see, students will be at tables that allow for collaboration and discussions. This is on purpose because in our math classroom, I will engage students in this strategy of math talk and small group work. This allows students the ability to work out problems in new ways, along with justifying why certain ways work best for them and not others. This is a huge aspect of my math curriculum because it gleans the importance of conceptualizing math instead of working out procedural knowledge. Conceptualizing math is a great importance because it allows students to truly understand what they are doing and why they are doing it, instead of just working out problems. My typical math lesson includes a majority of discussion. Since my room is designed for communication, I really want to emphasize the importance of students talking about math, explaining their reasoning, and justifying their answers. One of the greatest qualities about this is that students feel comfortable sharing. They will have the opportunity to begin sharing with peers and partners at their table before having whole group discussions. Having this math talk is a priority of my typical math lesson. We'll incorporate whole group instruction and multiple times to turn and talk and have small group discussions to share their ideas. This allows for students to understand how they are learning, what they are learning, as well as how their peers are learning and what their peers are learning as well. These are the standards of student mathematical practice. Everything that we do in the classroom will be correlated to at least one of these mathematical practices. Math talk and discussions that I've already discussed is a major contribution to mastering these skills. As you can see, this is one of the major bulletin boards in my classroom. This is the only bulletin board that will not change. All others will change within the unit to represent the students' learning. This board will be available for students to understand how what they are doing and learning relates and accomplishes our goal of mastering third grade together. The daily math that I will be using in the classroom is called Estimation 180. I love the idea of using this website to improve my students' problem-solving skills along with their number sense, context clues, and reasoning skills. Estimation 180 uses real-life videos to improve students' deductive reasoning as well. In third grade, we will be using an adaptive learning program, although it'll only be used on Wednesdays. Students will set up an account with Khan Academy, and it'll be used to master a specific set of skills. Students will use the 3 computers in the back and the iPads that we get on Wednesdays to work on their math problems during math time. The adaptive learning allows for personal missions to master and what to master next, what skills they have already learned, and how their progress has been saved throughout their learning. One of the major mastery skills that we'll be using in third grade is the understanding of fractions. A few manipulatives that I will be using for this understanding of fractions will be fraction tiles. This helps represent and manipulate different parts of the same whole, which allows students to explore and visualize different fraction relationships. The other manipulative we will be using is to assist in our introduction of fractions are called fraction tower cubes, which offers the same exploration and visualization of those fraction tiles, just in a different way by connecting the pieces together. This helps aid in the understanding of relationships. The cubes allow for students to make the problem that they are solving and give justifications to their answers as to why they are correct or possibly incorrect, and to fix it later. The forms of assessment I will be utilizing range from topics that we will be studying. A majority of my assessment will stem from the math talk that takes place in the classroom. The idea of students being able to discuss with me the way they figured out certain problems and justifying their answers will provide me with huge feedback as to what needs to be covered more clearly so that more students can understand it. Another assessment that will take place in my math classroom is a sticky note board. The questions on this sticky note board can range from open-ended questions like what stuck with you today, or pinpointed questions about what we learned for that day. For example, it could be a problem that we practiced or discussed with students on how they will solve their problem by showing their work and sticking their answer on the board. This is just a short check for me to understand what students have grasped the understanding and conceptualized the material. This also shows me that students are ready to move on to new material and what students can benefit from more explanation. Major assessments will include creating bulletin boards for the classroom, working in group projects of what the most important information was from the unit, and creating a board that explains those problems. It'll also include what manipulatives they use to help them figure out those problems to possibly aid in other students' learning in the classroom as well. One project that I have hinted at before will be creating videos for home. I know that with math comes a lot of worry and stress about helping your children at home with homework. One way I hope to ease that transition is by having students create videos that help you learn the material that they are learning. Students are creating videos to teach you guys, their guardians. These videos will be made with Adobe Spark and uploaded through Seesaw. Having the students explain what they are learning in these videos reinforces the idea of explaining their thinking and can help at home when they forget something or need clarification. They can turn to the videos for support and also for you to support. I just want to take this time to answer any questions that you guys might have right now. The first question is, why do students have to spend time explaining how they did their problems? Well, the Common Core standards in mathematics stress the importance of conceptual understanding as a key component of mathematical expertise. For my classroom, it is important for students to conceptualize the math that is taking place rather than the procedures of math. By that, I mean conceptualizing math as the understanding of why they are doing it. 4 times 4 is 24. By understanding that they are adding 4 columns and 6 rows, rather than the procedural of time test and making sure that they can memorize those procedures, it's important for students to understand the reason behind what they are doing, for students to understand how they got the answer rather than hoping that it is right. When they are able to justify and explain their answers, they have a greater sense of number knowledge and what works best for them when coming along to a problem that may not be exactly the same as the one that they have seen before. Their conceptual understanding will help guide them into the process of problem solving that specific problem and getting the correct answer with the confidence that they all have inside of them. The second question I heard was, what technology will you use? The technology that will be utilized in the classroom is the Seesaw app. It allows students to document their learning and to share it with each other and all of us. We are able to join in and reinforce their learning so much more when we are able to see it actually occurring. I will also be utilizing it for reminders about the classroom news and reminders about school news as well. The other technology we discussed was using Adobe Spark for creating math videos and Estimation 180 for the daily routines of problem solving. I want to thank you all for coming, and please do not hesitate to email me or stay after to answer any other questions you may have. I really look forward to an amazing year together.